Okay, today we will be discussing about the Maxwell's equation and the electromagnetic wave equation. Maxwell's equation and EM wave equation in vacuum. So this will be the topic. So the first equation is the Gauss's law for electrostatics by epsilon naught. This is due to Gauss's law of electrostatics. Similarly, Gauss's law of magnetostatics is there is no magnetic monopole, so that is the Gauss's law of magnetostatics. Then Faraday's law minus dou V by dou T. This is Faraday's law. And the last one is the modified Ampere's law, which looks like this: mu naught J plus mu naught epsilon naught dou E by dou T. So modified Ampere's law. Good. So these are the four fundamental equations in the classical electrodynamics. I will write it. So let me highlight this thing. Yeah. Now carefully observe. Let me write it down. Now we have to discuss the electromagnetic wave equation. Now wave equation, the recap. The recap is the scalar wave equation, which we have seen in some previous classes in initially when talking about the transverse wave in the string motion, transverse motion in the string. So it follows the like this: 1 by v square dou t square is equal to, of course I am writing it one space dimension, that is 1 plus 1, and similarly you can generalize it to 3 space dimension and 1 time dimension. It will be like this, where this object is the Laplacian. In Cartesian coordinate, the representation of the Laplacian in 3 dimension looks like this. All these things we have done several times. Now, why I have to remind you this thing? I have to remind you because a similar kind of wave equation you will see will come, which we will call the electromagnetic wave equation. We will derive it from the Maxwell's equation. But to remind you one thing, here I have written it very clearly. This is a scalar wave equation, but whatever we are going to see, it will be a vector wave equation. Good. We'll see that. Now, when we will be talking the waves in vacuum, I should mention you what do I mean by the vacuum. The definition: the EM wave equation in vacuum. So what do I mean by this? I mean here there will be no charge density and no current density. So rho will be equal to 0. So no charge density and J vector is equal to 0 vector, that is no current density. No current density. Good. Now, without the charge density and without the current density, how the Maxwell's equation will look like? So let me write Maxwell's, not wave equation, Maxwell's equation in vacuum. In vacuum, how do you look like? The first equation will be like this. The divergence of the electric field will be 0 because there is no charge density. Second equation, there is no change. It is already 0 earlier. Third equation, there is no change. With a minus sign. I have given hopefully the minus sign in the previous, I have given it. And the fourth one will be del cross B. Del cross B will be mu naught J will not be there. So mu naught epsilon naught dou E by dou T. So this is the Maxwell's equation in vacuum. In vacuum. That should be clear. Okay. Now in the next page we will be doing the Maxwell's wave equation. From Maxwell's equation in vacuum, electromagnetic wave equation will derive. So before we derive that, we need a vector identity. We need a vector. Without proving, we will identify that. What is the identity we use? So we will use the following vector calculus, following identity from vector calculus. What is the identity? We will write it like that. Curl of a curl. So curl of a vector field is equal to gradient of divergence of that vector field minus Laplacian of that vector field. The equivalent inside in terms of the symbol, if you want to write it, you will write it like this: curl of a vector field. Curl of a vector field is equal to gradient of the divergence of a vector field minus Laplacian of the vector field. I am not going to prove it. See, it is the identity. Take the identity that as a granted, because if I want to prove it, it will be, we will demotivate from what we are going to do. Take it granted. So how you can cross check it. The maximum thing is you can cross check it. So how you can cross check it? You can easily cross check it. You can easily cross check it for any vector field. It is not difficult. What is the left hand side? Left hand side, you have to compute the curl of a curl, which is very much possible. You know what is the curl of a curl. So if you see, if you say this is the curl, so let's say del cross A, I am calling that as a C. So curl of a vector field will be another vector field, and then you take the vector field and the components of the vector field, and then you write it down: I component, j component, k component, partial derivative with respect to x, partial derivative with respect to y, partial derivative with respect to z, the x component of C, y component of C, and z component of C, like that. Which I am calling it C1, C2, C. Easily you can compute the left hand side. What possibly is difficult, immediately you can ask something. The first term in the right hand side is not difficult. Right hand side there are two terms. The first term in the right hand side is quite easy: gradient of a divergence. So divergence, already we know divergence of any vector field is a scalar. So let's say del dot A is a scalar. So you can easily compute the gradient. So you can write it dou f by dou x, dou f by dou y, dou f by dou z. I am writing in a tuple notation. Otherwise, if you want to write it in ijk cup, easily you can write it down. Anyway, I am telling it in the Cartesian coordinates. If you want, you can do it in any other coordinates. This is just an example. So the first term on the right hand side, it is also not very difficult. We can easily compute it. Second term is not difficult, but in this concept we have not been developed for you. Laplacian of a function you already know. already know. What is this object? This object is quite easy to understand. This notion you have. This is the Laplacian of a scalar. Now, what about Laplacian of a vector field? Laplacian of a vector field is what? Now, to make you understand is that what I mean by a Laplacian of a vector field, that essentially there will be two components, there will be three components in Cartesian coordinate, 3 dimension I am talking about. So it will be essentially I cap, sorry, let me write down the Laplacian. Laplacian, sorry, I am taking always the stroke is small eraser, yeah. What happened? Just one moment. Good. The Laplacian of the x component, similarly, the meaning of this is the meaning. Laplacian, of course, of the y component and Laplacian of the z component. The vector field A has three components in 3 dimension. This is, I am writing it the component wise. Now, apply the Laplacian on this vector field, then means as if I have I component is there, take the I component out, you act the Laplacian on that scalar. So this is a scalar function, this is a function of x, y there. So there is this concept is very much same as this one. Instead of f, you are calculating Laplacian on Laplacian on function a1. Instead of I mean the second component will be Laplacian you are acting on in a2, and the third component you are using Laplacian on a3. As simple as that. So right hand side is also a vector and left hand side is also a vector. Carefully observe what is the attribute of this quantity. This entity, what is the entity over here? Del cross C, there is a vector. Right hand side, this is also gradient of a divergence. This is also vectorial quantity. And Laplacian, now you know this Laplacian of this, there is also vectorial quantity. So it matches. It matches. So qualitatively, I have make you understand that this identity is working. It is not something vague. Only this concept is little bit new. I will highlight this concept. This is Laplacian of a vector field, but it is not that difficult if you understand it in this way. Okay. So we need this identity. We need this identity to prove the electromagnetic wave equation in vacuum. I am going to the next page. Now, there will be two cases. Case 1, electric field. Case 1 is electric field. Okay. Let us try to do it. So, okay, let me start with the magnetic field. That will be much easier so that you can immediately understand. I will use the first equation, magnetic field. Magnetic field. So start with the we start the vector identity on the magnetic field, on the electric field, and the result will come for the magnetic field. You will see soon. So curl of a curl of electric field is the gradient of the divergence of the electric field minus the Laplacian of the electric field. That is, I am using the identity. So now my vector field is E. Instead of A, my vector field is electric field. So what is on the left hand side? Let us compute the left hand side. The left hand side is curl of a curl of an electric field. Now go and check the Maxwell's equation in vacuum for the curl of an electric field. See, curl of an electric field is this. So I'll write it down. So in your notebook, you see what is the curl of an electric field. So it is del cross minus dou B by dou T. Okay, I can write it in this way. Dou cross B. Now you can see I have commutated between the partial derivative and in space and in time. That I can do it over here, because they will be commutating variable with each other. It is not that if I apply the dou by dou t earlier or dou by dou x earlier, I am getting a different result. So in that sense, the you can remember. So this is the kind of a mixed derivative theorem if you know in the calculus. So dou 2f by dou x dou y is equal to dou 2f and dou y dou x. It is the same thing here. Of course, the conditions for the theorem holds, and in the same case, this condition from the variable t and x, y, z are holding good, so I can write it down. So if I write it down, what is gradient curl of B? Curl of B, if you remember, curl of B is what? Curl of B is in vacuum mu naught epsilon naught dou E by dou t. I am going to write it down there. Curl of B minus dou by dou t. Curl of B is mu naught epsilon naught dou E by dou t. What is this? Dou by dou t has come out. I mean dou bi dou t2 double derivative mu naught epsilon naught and 1 minus sign is over there. So this is the left hand side. This is the left hand side. Let me highlight it. This is your left hand side. I'll go for the right hand side. I'll go for the right hand side. Right hand side is what? Right hand side I have to compute gradient of a divergence minus Laplacian of U. But the gradient of the divergence is what? In vacuum, divergence of the electric field is what? There is vacuum is there is no charge density. That means it is 0. So I don't have to consider that. I don't have to consider that. So that is 0 minus Laplacian of the electric field. So it should be minus Laplacian of the electric field. So this is your right hand side. This is your right hand side. So now I equate these two things side by side. I'll get a different color. So minus mu naught epsilon naught dou 2 E by dou T2 is equal to minus Laplacian. So minus cancels from both sides. So you can write. So this is exactly looks like the wave equation, isn't it? The classical wave equation. I'll write it here to remind you in a different color. The scalar wave equation is 1 by v square. The scalar function f is equal to this. Now see, if you replace the scalar function f by the vector field E, that almost looks like saying provided I identify mu naught epsilon naught with equal, which is equal to 1 by some velocity square. 1 by some velocity square, if I identify, then both are same. Do you agree? So mu naught epsilon naught is nothing but 1 by c square here. If you calculate, if you compute with the value, so mu naught epsilon naught is nothing but 1 by c square. 1 by c square. Now you can cross check it in one way. Mu naught and epsilon naught, you can check it what is what. So mu naught is the permeability in the free space, that means in vacuum. We identify this thing, then it will come like 1 by c square dou 2 E by dou T2 is equal to, so this is the wave equation. Yeah, let me highlight. This is the electromagnetic wave equation in free space or vacuum. So let me write it down. This is EM wave equation in free space. Free space means vacuum. Now I'll just identify why I have written mu naught epsilon naught in that way. Mu naught is what? Permeability in vacuum, and if you remember, the unit is Coulomb square by Newton meter square, and if you check the dimension, it will be q square times square m to the power minus 1 and L to the power minus 3. and you can easily cross check it. And epsilon naught is the permittivity in vacuum. That is what. Oh, I have written the. Sorry, I have written the. Yeah, this is the unit of the permittivity. Okay, let me write it down. I will cross check. I will erase it over here. So I have written the wrong thing. So here, so I will just erase this portion. So this thing is permeability is Newton per ampere square. It will be your m L q to the power minus 2. Now, if you multiply these two things, what will happen? Immediately you can see mu naught epsilon naught. If you multiply, what will happen? So mu naught is m L q to the power minus 2. Here q square t to the power 2 m to the power minus 1 L to the power minus 1. So what are the things will cancel? I am highlighting it. This will cancel with this. This will cancel with this. One L will cancel with the other. So it will come at L by T. Not L by T, just the opposite of that. So L to the power minus 2 T square. L to the power minus 2 T square. So exactly you can see this is 1 upon L by T square. So exactly you can see, you can identify it with the velocity, and in the case of the electromagnetic wave, the velocity is the speed of the light. You can put the numbers for mu and mu naught and epsilon naught, and exactly you can get 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So that brings you the electromagnetic wave equation for what? For the electric field. Okay, for the electric field I have started with, yeah, sorry, this I should clarify it in the beginning. So it is for the electric field, and similarly you can do it electric field. So similarly you start with the identity for the magnetic field, and you will get like the same equation. So instead of E, you will get it the electromagnetic wave equation for the magnetic field. So what you have to do, I am not doing that, so that is case 2, you can easily do it by yourself. Instead of E, you start with B, then you in a similar way you write it down the left hand side. So del cross B will be what? Del cross B, you have to put mu naught epsilon naught, and from there you have to put del cross E again. So essentially everything will come in the dou 2 by dou T2 of the magnetic field. And similarly the right hand side you will write it in that way. Here also this term will not work and this term will work. So essentially you will get the same equation. Instead of electric field, it will be the magnetic field, and the arguments for epsilon naught and mu naught are the same thing. So this is the way we have proved the Maxwell's wave. I mean, from Maxwell's equations in vacuum, we have proved the electromagnetic wave equation in vacuum. So this brings the close of this section. Yeah, thank you.